against federal cuts?
I've been thinking about this issue for quite some time because what the administration is doing is, of course, attacking institutions of higher learning, on DEI grounds, on this bigoted anti-trans agenda, and we have the best university system. I don't care what California says. We've got the best university system in the country, and we should be proud of it, and we need to keep it that way. So we fight them in the courts, number one, to make sure that the administration doesn't take away funds that have been appropriated to colleges, to our system, on spurious and frivolous grounds. And we need to be prepared to provide stopgap funding. That's the reality. It all boils down to that. They're going to take the money away. They want to take federal funds out of public education, K through 12 and college. That is their goal because they are ideologues. They don't believe in the public good. They don't believe in education as a public good. So we need to prepare to fight them. And if we lose, which is a possibility, at least momentarily, be ready to provide stopgap funding out of Richmond until sanity is restored in Washington.
Okay. So, here in Prince William County, with all of us having to go back into the office, commuters have a lot of challenges, a lot of problems. They spend a lot more time on the road commuting. What are your solutions for the increased traffic and those easy pass costs that everyone have to pay in order to get into DC?
Yeah, I with Trump's ordering all federal workers mandating in-person work, our streets are as bad as they've ever been, and the commutes are as bad as they've ever been. Obviously, I quit the department before this happened. I left in early December, put in my notice in November. But I think we need to study our toll system. We need to study what makes most sense. The localities have to play an integral role in this type of coordination and this type of effort. So as Lieutenant Governor, I would just, encourage localities, encourage leaders at the local level to coordinate, to make what makes most sense, not just to maximize revenue, right? Which I guess every agency and locality has a right to do, but it's just not the best thing to do because by doing so, you're punishing commuters. The farther away you live from DC, the more expensive it is to get to work. And that's just not fair, right? So I would attack it. That would be my number one priority, right? Monday to Friday, tolls and whatnot. But I would also consider studying the possibility of providing tax credits and tax relief for commuter and transportation costs. That's not something that folks have discussed or folks are willing to do. I am, right? Because these are working folks like me, federal workers, right? And I had some benefits through WMATA because I live closer to DC, but it's about time that here in Virginia we take care of our own, and we do that by simply saying, look, if you spend $4,000 or $5,000 a year in gasoline and tolls and wear and tear of your vehicle, sure, go ahead and deduct it. We'll give you a credit. That's what I'm prepared to do.
All right. So many people feel hopeless in the face of what we see is the growing tyranny of the MAGA loyalists. How would you inspire them not to give up?
I struggle to keep myself inspired every day, Samuel. Anecdotally, I prosecuted Sheriff Joe Arpaio in 2017, and of course, Donald Trump hated that prosecution. He couldn't stop it. But inevitably, I began to monitor the far right internet websites, out of a safety and a security concern, right? And unfortunately, I was right to be concerned because those people were not happy that somebody like me was going after Sheriff Joe Arpaio. It must have been the height, right, that they didn't like. So I'm familiar with these folks. As I said, I've prosecuted violent election deniers, MAGA cultists. And there is no easy answer to your question, unfortunately. They are an existential threat to our democracy, to our form of government, and frankly, to increasingly to our way of life, because MAGA cultists have made it to positions of power, and they are using the levers of power to intimidate marginal, vulnerable communities, to inflict harm and pain and suffering on small businesses and communities that are exposed to harm and hurt, right? Immigrant communities, as Dr. Latif was saying. So that's why I jumped into this race, because I remember election night, my wife and I were trying to figure out what I would do. And I do have the constitutional knowledge, the expertise to do the work. I checked every box in terms of resistance for the Trump 2.0 era. And I remember my wife saying, if somebody came knocking, banging down our door, trying to hurt our daughters, would you just wait? Would you just wait for somebody else to run? Would you just sit by and wait for the issue to resolve itself, or would you do something about it yourself? And that crystallized the matter for me, that I needed to step up to this moment, given that I am uniquely qualified, given this moment, to serve as LG. So I would just say, keep your head up. They are not patriots like we are. We love our country more than they do, certainly more than they love Donald Trump. So this is an existential struggle for the soul of America. We're the good guys. Let's keep it that way.
All right. Well,
Mr. Chair, that is time.
all right. Well, thank you very much. Like I've extended to everyone else, feel free to come back to Prince William County. Just give us